Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Hold to your true aspirations no matter what is going on around you. The whole universe is change, and life itself is but what you deem it. The greatest wealth is a poverty of desires. A good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness. Don't allow yourself to be ruled by the tyranny of just one more possession, one more distraction, one more desire. To live a good life, we have the potential for it. If we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference, whoever values peace of mind and the health of the soul will live the best of all possible lives. Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours. As is a tale, so is life. Not how long it is, but how good it is what matters. We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. To make the best of what is in our power, and take the rest as it occurs. A man must stand erect, not be kept erect by others. A sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the killer's hand. What is to give light must endure burning. We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it. The soul's joy lies in doing what is right and just. You always own the option of having no opinion. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. No man was ever wise by chance. Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life. Whatever can happen at any time can happen today. True happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. The wise man will want to be ever mindful of the fact that he is not immortal and that he can lose his life at any moment. An ounce of good fortune is worth more than a ton of wisdom. Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Those who are feared must necessarily fear those whom they intimidate. The ultimate power in life is to be completely self-reliant, completely yourself. Do not let your mind be troubled by what others think of you. It is their opinion, and it is their problem, not yours. Keep a list before your mind of those who burned with anger or jealousy, who were victims of spite or deceit. Where are they now? Nowhere. And yet, they thought they were immortal. To complain is always non-acceptance of what is. Don't aim to be perfect. Aim to be anti-fragile. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Life is very short and anxious for those who forget the past, neglect the present, and fear the future. If you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you're needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person. Don't just say, "You have read books." Show that through them you have learned to think better, to be a more discriminating and reflective person. A man should therefore not worry about the loss of those that life takes away, but rejoice in what they once were. Be ruthless to the things that don't matter, just that you do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter. Time heals what reason cannot. Success is living according to your own inner compass. The good things of life are better for those who enjoy them without feeling the need to own them. Remember that what you have now was once among the things you only hoped for. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. A Stoic is someone who transforms fear into prudence, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. Receive without pride. Let go without attachment. A happy life is one which is in accordance with its own nature. He who is not contented with what he has would not be contented with what he would like to have. No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity. A person should not be too confident in prosperity, nor too discouraged in adversity. Wealth and pleasure distract us, but a wise man refocuses on the life of virtue. If you want to improve, you must be content to be thought foolish and stupid. No man has been shattered by the blows of fortune unless he was first deceived by her favors. The mind that is free from passions is a citadel. No fortress is more secure. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. He is a king who fears nothing. He is a king who desires nothing. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. Withdraw into yourself. It is the only haven which you can always count on. We must take a lesson from the bees. They collect their materials and arrange them, and then let their powers work on the matter which they have gathered. An angry man is again angry with himself when he returns to reason. If a man despises me, that is his problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of contempt. A wise man is content with his lot, whatever it may be, without wishing for what he is not. I cannot escape death, but at least I can escape the fear of it. Do not overrate what you have received, nor envy others. The man who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive. Happiness is the absence of the striving for happiness. Be neither a slave nor a master to any man. A man's worth is measured by the worth of what he values. One of the most beautiful qualities of true friendship is to understand and to be understood. Never let the future disturb you. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. If you want to avoid resentment, don't focus on what other people are doing. Focus on what you are doing. Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: a fit body, a calm mind, a house full of love. A setback has often cleared the way for greater prosperity. Do not let your difficulties fill you with anxiety. After all, it is only in the darkest nights that stars shine more brightly. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Do what you can, with what you have, where you are. Be calm and serene, like a harbor at peace amidst a storm. The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. Think of yourself as on the threshold of unparalleled success. A whole, clear, glorious life lies before you. Achieve, achieve. If you want to live a happy life, tie it to a goal, not to people or things. The universe is transformation. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Remember, it is not enough to be hit or insulted to be harmed. You must believe that you are being harmed. No man can have a peaceful life who thinks too much about lengthening it. Take full account of what excellencies you possess, and in gratitude, remember how you would hanker after them if you had them not. Life is neither good nor evil, but only a place for good and evil. He best revenge is not to be like your enemy. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. The wise man is neither raised up by prosperity nor cast down by adversity. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Every difficulty in life presents us with an opportunity to turn inward and to invoke our own submerged inner resources. A thing is not necessarily true because a man dies for it. Do not seek to have events happen as you want them, but instead want them to happen, and your life will go well. What we desire makes us vulnerable. What we need makes us powerful. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The mind adapted to what is given is superior to the mind that demands something else. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Don't put your happiness in things outside of your control. No man is free who is not master of himself. Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look there. Only the educated are free. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Nothing happens to anyone that he is not fitted by nature to bear. Do not let your happiness depend on something you may lose. Remember, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He who is brave is free. No man is happy who does not think himself so. A Stoic always keeps in mind the fragility of human life. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. The wise man is not made happy by a good fortune or made unhappy by a bad one. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs? Fate leads the willing and drags along the reluctant. People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Wealth is the slave of the wise man and the master of the fool. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body. If you wish to be a writer, write. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. A man's true delight is to do the things he was made for. No man is free who cannot command himself. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. Be like a cliff against which the waves continually break, but it stands firm and tames the fury of the water around it. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. You may leave this life at any moment. Have this possibility in your mind in all that you do or say or think. Circumstances don't make the man. They only reveal him to himself. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. The bravest sight in the world is to see a great man struggling against adversity. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. Man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor. If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now. He who has a why to live can bear almost any how. No man is free who is not master of himself. First, learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak. A Stoic is someone who transforms fear into prudence, pain into transformation, mistakes into initiation, and desire into undertaking. To love only what happens, what was destined. No greater harmony. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. While we wait for life, life passes. What we do now echoes in eternity. Stop being jerked like a puppet. Limit yourself to the present. Remember, matter, how tiny your share of it. Time, how brief and fleeting your allotment of it. Fate, how small a role you play in it. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Be strict with yourself, but tolerant with others. To bear trials with a calm mind robs misfortune of its strength and burden. Do every act of your life as though it were the last act of your life. We are always complaining that our days are few and acting as though there would be no end of them. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive. He who fears death will never do anything worthy of a man who is alive. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Marcus Aurelius. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. He who fears death will never do anything worth of a man who is alive. Seneca. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Seneca. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Marcus Aurelius. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Epictetus. The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have. Epictetus. You become what you give your attention to. Epictetus. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Epictetus man is disturbed not by things, but by the views he takes of them. Epictetus. Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Seneca. How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself? Epictetus. No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. Seneca. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Epictetus. To be even-minded is the greatest virtue. Heraclitus' luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Seneca wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life. Seneca. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Marcus Aurelius. A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. Seneca. It is the nature of the wise to resist pleasures, but the foolish to be a slave to them. Epictetus. He who laughs at himself never runs out of things to laugh at. Epictetus. Self-control is strength. Right thought is mastery. Calmness is power. James Allen. Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if you will always look there. Marcus Aurelius. Wealth is the slave of a wise man, the master of a fool. Seneca. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. Marcus Aurelius. He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary. Seneca. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus. He who is brave is free. Seneca. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Marcus Aurelius. Wealth without wisdom is just a weight that's difficult to carry. Seneca. No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer that there must be time. Epictetus. The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable. Seneca. Do not seek to have events happen as you want them, but instead want them to happen, and your life will go well. Epictetus. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Marcus Aurelius. While we wait for life, life passes. Seneca. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. Only the educated are free. Epictetus. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Seneca. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. Epictetus. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Marcus Aurelius. The whole future lies in uncertainty. Live immediately. Seneca. To love only what happens, what was destined, no greater harmony. Marcus Aurelius. If you want to improve, Be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Epictetus. The greater the difficulty, the more glory in surmounting it. Skillful pilots gain their reputation from storms and tempests. Seneca. People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. We should always be asking ourselves, is this something that is or is not in my control? Time is like a river made up of the events which happen and a violent stream. For as soon as a thing has been seen, it is carried away, and another comes in its place. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself.